Hola, I'm Mar. I'm a Spanish teacher, and today I'm going to be editing the notes that I took during a conversation practice that I had with a student. And I do this all the time, but I thought that I could film it and upload it in case this is useful to other people as well. So during this lesson, we talked about art and also a bit of theater and stand-up. This student is a lower intermediate. So yeah, I mostly have notes that I took about vocabulary and some phrases. I actually didn't have that many corrections about grammar. And I don't think I pointed out anything about pronunciation during this particular lesson. So the notes are not that long. They're actually pretty short. So this should only take a couple of minutes. Okay, so the reason why we talked about art with this student during this conversation practice, it was sort of inspired in the fact that I visited a couple of days ago a museum here in Buenos Aires. It was the Museo de Benito Quinquela Martín. He's an artist from Argentina. And yeah, sort of inspired by that, we decided to talk about art. So here are the notes that I took during the lesson. They're just like random words, and I do this after every lesson. I edit them so then the student can review afterwards. Okay, so first we'll start with the vocabulary. El arte callejero, street art. And callejero and callejera is an adjective that we can use when we describe anything that is like street. So like, for example, un artista callejero, a street artist. But in this case it's just art. El arte callejero. So let's come up with a simple sentence. En Buenos Aires hay tours de arte callejero y grafitis para turistas. Okay. En Buenos Aires hay tours de arte callejero y grafitis para turistas. La exhibición. So all these words are words that came up while we were speaking, and the student didn't know what they mean, or they just didn't know the word. So that's why I write them down. La exhibición. Exhibition. Let me check the spelling. Exhibition, okay. Exhibición. And what he said was, mi amigo presentó su arte en varias exhibiciones y galerías. And galerías has an accent mark in the E. Mi amigo presentó su arte en varias exhibiciones y galerías. La obra de teatro, that's a play, a theater play. En Buenos Aires hay muchas obras de teatro, pero los musicales no son muy populares. That's what I told him when we were talking about, because he was telling me about a musical that he saw recently. La obra de teatro. Entonces, en Buenos Aires hay muchas obras de teatro, pero los musicales no son muy populares. La danza, that's a dance or dancing. So that's the noun. So bailar or danzar, to, that's to dance, that's the verb, but la danza, that's the noun. I don't remember what we said about this. I think I was asking him, ¿has visto un espectáculo de danza alguna vez? Espectáculo de danza en un teatro. Ok. ¿Has visto alguna vez un espectáculo de danza en un teatro? And the answer was no. Okay, so then we have el and la comediante, because words that end with ante are gender neutral. So it doesn't change regardless if we're talking about a man or a woman, and comediante means comedian. Oh god, my spelling. Let me check. Comedian, yeah. Let me think. Esta comediante tiene un especial en Netflix. Esta comediante es australiana y tiene un especial en Netflix, because we were talking about Hannah Gatsby, who's a Australian comedian, because this particular student is from Australia. So, esta comediante es australiana y tiene un especial en Netflix. Okay, then we have la silueta. Silhouette. Oh man, thank God I checked the spelling. Silueta. And he was describing a painting. So, en el cuadro solo se pueden ver las siluetas de dos personas. En el cuadro solo se pueden ver las siluetas de dos personas. Y la forma, la figura, that's shape. And he was again describing this particular painting. So he was saying, dentro de las let me think. I think it was las siluetas estaban llenas de formas de distintos colores. I think that's what he was describing. Las siluetas estaban llenas de formas de distintos colores. Like they were, they had shapes inside. That's what he said in English. So that's why I wrote forma and figura while we were talking. And this is why I take notes, because I try not to interrupt my students. I mean, I do give them suggestions and corrections if there's any mistake and everything, but even if I mention it, I write it down so that I can say it once they are done talking, because I don't want to interrupt them. Okay, now we move on to adjetivos y adverbios. And we have abstracto, which is cognate really, so it's really easy to figure out that it means abstract. A veces es difícil entender el arte porque es demasiado abstracto. That's what we said. A veces es difícil entender el arte porque es demasiado abstracto. And it's important to remember that when we have this construction, so it is adjective verb, es difícil entender. We don't use por or para either, really. We don't use any preposition. So to say es difícil para entender, is not natural. We just say, es difícil entender. It's hard to understand. Infinitive, right? The verb is in infinitive, entender. Es difícil entender el arte porque es demasiado abstracto. And we also had graciosa, which means funny, and it's important to remember the difference between divertido, right? Divertida, because that means fun, whereas gracioso means funny, and we were using that word to talk about this show, that stand-up show that we were mentioning. So, el show es muy gracioso, pero ella también cuenta historias muy tristes. And I really recommend it, by the way, if you can watch this show, stand-up show. It's really interesting. Again, that's by show Netflix by the comedian Hannah Gatsby. El show es muy gracioso, pero ella también cuenta historias muy tristes. Okay, and then verbs, we have quedarse ciego o ciega, and that's to go blind, and we can use that, to talk about other physical illnesses, I suppose. So like quedarse ciego, but also quedarse mudo, quedarse rengo. So any like long-lasting physical disability, I suppose. So that's the construction that we use, quedarse ciego, and it is reflexive. Quedarse is reflexive in this case. So the student was describing a Australian artist. So he was saying, él estaba quedándose ciego, pero continuó trabajando how can I say this? Él estaba quedándose ciego, pero continuó trabajando y pintando. Él estaba quedándose ciego, pero continuó trabajando y pintando. And here we have the se, the reflexive se for él, right? That's the pronoun that we use, se. And although most of the time we use the pronoun before the verb whenever the verb is conjugated, except in 3 cases. When the verb is the infinitive, quedarse, when it is the ing verbs, the gerundio, quedándose, and then when we are giving a command, so with the imperative, quédate. So in those 3 cases, we use the pronoun after the verb, but in all other cases, we put it before the verb. Él se quedó. In this case, él estaba quedándose. He was going, ing, he was going blind. So this is one of those few cases where the pronoun goes actually after the verb and not before. And then we go to oraciones. And this is where I correct not particular words, but the entire phrase. Entonces, hay 2 artistas australianos que conozco. That's what I wrote, but what he said was que sé. But when we talk about people, to know someone, we use the verb conocer instead of saber. So that is incorrect. We use conocer, and then conocer is also irregular with the yo pronoun. So we have the si there, conozco, yo conozco, I know them when we talk about people, right? Yo conozco. Hay 2 artistas Hay 2 artistas australianos que conozco. Okay. Then he was describing this painting that I was mentioning before. En la pintura se ven dos personas, se ven las siluetas de dos personas. And what he had said was de dos gente. But gente, first of all, is always singular, so gentes is incorrect. We always use la gente in its singular form, and it means people in general. So we don't use it with a number before. So if we say 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, etc., then we use the word personas, not gente. So that's what I'm going to write. When we use a number before the word people, we use personas and not gente. There you go. La pintura te hace pensar, reflexionar. I'm just trying to remember what we said about this. Hold on. I'm trying to remember what it was that we said about this phrase. I think this is what we said about this phrase. La pintura es abstracta, pero te hace pensar o reflexionar. Y te hace, that's the indirect object pronoun. Te makes you think. Makes you. Reflexionar is to reflect. Pensar, to think. So it makes you think, it makes you reflect. I apologize if you can hear the music in the background. I live in front of a park and there's a concert going on at the park currently, so there's a lot of loud music. Yo tenía clases de arte en la escuela, pero después de eso no hice arte nunca más. No hice arte nunca más. So that's I guess the literal translation will be no, I didn't make art ever again. And we have a double negative here, no and nunca más, so not, never again, right? That's a double negative in English. However, double negatives are both correct and necessary in Spanish, so we have to use them. So didn't ever again. That will be, the literal translation will be never again, but in English you would say ever again. And that's a useful phrase if you want to say, well, I did something once, but that was the last time. I've never done that ever again. No hice eso nunca más. Yo tenía clases de arte en la escuela, pero después de eso no hice arte nunca más. Ok, con el diseño que tenía el edificio, uno sentía que estaba en esa era. He was describing a museum, a history museum, and here we are making a description of the building. So, el diseño que tenía el edificio. When making descriptions, we use the pretérito imperfecto. That's why tenía and not tuvo. And then we have uno sentía que estaba en esa era. One felt that one was in that era, or one felt like you were in that era. So when we are using an impersonal construction in English, you usually use you. So you felt like you were in that era. And you can do that in Spanish. You can say tú sentías que estabas en esa era. But it's more common to use uno, one felt. And I know that it's not common in English. It kind of sounds too formal, or just, I don't know, it's not what people usually use, but that is super common in Spanish. That's actually the most common way of speaking about a particular situation, but without having one particular person in mind. So, uno sentía que estaba en esa era could be translated as you felt like you were in that era when you were in that building. Con el diseño que tenía el edificio, uno sentía que estaba en esa era. Uno sentía. Las historias que contaba la comediante eran muy tristes. Yo no pensaba que el show iba a ser gracioso. And then we have the past of the past. Iba a ser. Was going to be. I didn't thought that the show was going to be. Iba a ser, the past of the past. So ir a, the construction ir a, is going to, but in the past. Iba a. Was going to be. Los mensajes que ella expresaba a través de los chistes eran muy profundos. A través, through. Through her jokes, she was giving really powerful messages. A través, that's through. No he visto stand-up desde hace un tiempo. So he used the word rato. But the thing about this word is that although it can be translated as while, a little while, it's a really short amount of time. We're talking about like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. That's what a rato is. So what he wanted to say is, well, I haven't seen any stand-up show in a while, but he obviously didn't mean 15 minutes. He meant obviously like a longer period of time. So we can just use tiempo. No he visto stand-up desde hace un tiempo. So I'm gonna write that. Remember that rato is only 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so now this is organized, and again, so we have the notes with the vocabulary and the phrases, oraciones, but I actually don't have anything to add in the section of grammar, so I'm gonna delete this. And I didn't have any corrections with pronunciation this time, so that was quick. Just some vocabulary and some phrases. So usually, sometimes I have corrections with pronunciation, sometimes not. It depends on the student, depends on their level. But most lessons I have something that I add in the grammar section. But I don't know, this time there wasn't anything in particular that came up. So that is all. Now I'm gonna send this to the student so he can review. And I'm gonna add also these notes to the description of this video in case you want to check them out. And yeah, I'm gonna do this often because I don't know, I do this all the time, so I thought might as well film it and upload it. So if you have any questions or anything, you can leave not a message, a comment. You can leave a comment. And that is all. My name is Mar. I'm a Spanish teacher. I'm from Argentina, and I'm on Verbling and italki, so you can find me there if you want, and we could do a conversation practice when, yeah, we'll talk about interesting topics. I'll give you corrections and suggestions, and you'll have a document like this one to review afterwards. So that is all. Thank you for watching, y adiós.